Okay, you all set again?
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to welcome everyone this evening to a regular town board meeting for Town and Row, October 12th, 2021, and ask the clerk for a roll call.
Councilmember Hogan.
Here.
Councilmember Noonan.
Here.
Councilmember Van Tassel.
Here.
Supervisor Cruz here.
Here. And ask that everyone please rise for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, everyone. First item on the agenda this evening is a brief update on COVID-19. We will start here in Town and Row. Currently, as of this morning, we have 32 active cases. In the village of South Glens Falls, we currently have 12 active cases. The 7-day rolling average percent positivity in Saratoga County is presently 2.9%. In the county, the number of breakthrough cases, and this is for individuals that have been fully vaccinated, is currently 1.08%. And the number of residents that reside in Saratoga County that are currently hospitalized is at 8. And looking at some other statistics, just briefly, those individuals in the county age 12 and older that have received at least one dose is currently 85.7%. In that same category, the number of individuals that are currently fully vaccinated or seriously complete is 80.6%. And those age 18 and older that have received at least one dose is a little bit higher than their younger counterparts at 86.4%. And those that are deemed series complete is presently 81.3%. And then those individuals are seniors 65 and older that have had at least one dose in the county is 98%. And those that are considered fully vaccinated, that number is 90.9%. So very good numbers there for a county. We continue to lead in New York State, upstate New York, as for countywide for having a significantly high number of our seniors and eligible residents vaccinated. So that's all good news. Item 2 on the agenda is the Mike Nolan 5K race. And I know Councilmember Noonan brought this to the board for action this evening. Would you like to?
Sure. Sure. I don't think there's much action needed, but just like to mention that the committee that's organizing the race has asked the town want to inform the town of the date of the race. The date is November 7th at 9:30. I believe start time. They wanted to just let us know that they did change the route which they've done. You know, this is an annual race. In the past, they have approached the town and asked for a section of Tanglewood Drive to be closed off. They do not feel that that's going to be necessary this year. They're going to run down Tanglewood Drive from the new bus loop entrance on Tanglewood Drive towards the Iris, and then turn to that neighborhood, run most of the race in that neighborhood, and then run that same stretch from Iris back to the bus to the bus loop. And they will have people in that are clearly identified as for safety to let the traffic know that everything will be okay. They just want to inform us of it and bring it up, see if anyone has any questions on the board. It's a request that I think we've fulfilled every year that it comes our way with no issues. Highway superintendent didn't suggest that. I didn't find there to be much of an issue, but wanted to make sure we brought it up here in open discussion.
Great, certainly worthwhile cause and has great attendance, and appreciate you bringing that information. information forward. Anybody have any questions on that? Item 3 on this evening's agenda, I have listed as the American Rescue Plan Act reimbursement. As the board members are well aware, as we're going through the budget process, we have received our first installment of 2 that are equal, one this year and one for next year, where the town has received $600,000 from the ARPA program. And what we as a board wanted to do and will be doing this evening is using some of that money to backfill, if you will, monies that we were required to expend. And for instance, employees that had to stay home were entitled to recoup some of that money. And so I prepared a resolution for the board. And essentially what we did is I asked our principal account clerk to go to review our expenditures that occurred during the pandemic and to annotate those funds which the town is eligible to be made whole with and with this federal funding. And so there's a resolution for the board members this evening that will allow us to reconstitute the specific fund balances where we paid monies out during the pandemic. And I'll read the resolution just briefly and ask that somebody, unless the clerk would like to read it.
I don't have it.
Oh, you don't have it? Here, I'll give you one.
I like it.
And it states, whereas the American Rescue Plan Act was signed into law and included $774 million from the federal coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund for certain cities, towns, and villages in New York State. And whereas the town of Monroe has received $606,408.44 from the Office of the New York State Controller in the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2021. And whereas in accordance with the generally accepted accounting principles, the town of Monroe has recorded funds received through the American Rescue Plan Act as a liability until eligible expenditures are recognized. And whereas the town of Monroe had eligible expenses during 2020 and 2021 in personal services for the general fund, town outside fund, highway fund, transfer station fund, sewer fund, and water district 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fund, as well as water district 6 fund. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Monroe recognize $140,412.76 of the monies received through the American Rescue Plan Act as revenues for the fiscal year ended December 31, 2021. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Monroe authorize reimbursing the general fund, town outside fund, highway fund, transfer station fund, sewer fund, water district 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 fund for eligible personal services expenses incurred in 2020 and 2021 for a total of $140,412.76.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. One absent. Next item on the agenda this evening is the solar pilot law. I think every board member has a copy of the draft law that council has provided. I have it on the agenda so that we can establish a date for the public hearing. As everyone is aware, we do have an applicant before the planning board for construction of a facility that will require a pilot based on previous conversations with board members in our industrial park. And so therefore, we have to do this by local law. And I'm asking the board for date and time for the public hearing. My recommendation would be for either well, we could do it for next board meeting if you wanted to. We do have a lot of meeting at 6:45.
How long do you want to set for this? Maybe more than 15 minutes?
I don't think we need more.
I can't imagine it would.
30 if you-
6:30.
Unless you don't need the full 15.
How much? 6?
I'm good with it, 5 minutes to 15 minutes, either is fine.
All right, so why don't we do it
On
for
the 26th.
6:40? The 6:40 p.m. on October 26th. That works for everybody. There, somebody want to move that?
So,
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries unanimously.
Can I just ask one quick question for council? When I put that advertisement in, that is going to be local lot 3 of 2021 for right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
what's the budget public hearing?
Did we set it?
I don't know, I have it in.
Did we set the public hearing for the budget? I didn't think we did.
No.
Okay, that's weird then. Okay, never mind.
What, the deja vu with you?
No,
He's got a schedule.
it popped up October 26th,
That was last year.
2021.
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't finalized the budget, so.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that. I have, item 5 on the agenda is a town road landfill. I need to discuss, we're gonna table that until, we're talking about an executive session. Potential for a contract for services, terms of contract, so we'll bring that up a little bit later. Building department. The building department had, actually, you know what? We have been interviewing individuals for the clerk's position, and I'd like to table that until we talk about a particular candidate for the position. So we'll bring that up in executive session.
Okay.
And highway department. Couple items here. The first thing we have to do, if the board recalls, last time we were together, we had to rearrange some appropriations so that we could pay for the balance on the feeder road work. And so we adopted actually 2 resolutions. We only need to adopt one, so we moved the money around that we didn't have to. So I'm looking for a motion to rescind resolution number 2021-286. And that was the one that was made by council member Van Tassel, seconded by Hogan, which was approved unanimously, appropriating $17,861.56 to account DB 5112.431. So,
Second.
any discussion? No. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you for that. Then we got some other, we do have some other requests from the highway superintendent. First one that I received is in relation to understanding for remainder of the 2021 budget year. Presently, there's $6,000 in, $7,000 in account DB 5142.491. And Paul has 4 quotes. Cranesville at $7.25 per ton. Bloody Stone at $11 per ton. Town of Boston at $7.75 per ton. And BJ Farms at $7.75 per ton. And highway superintendent is recommending that we go with Cranesville aggregate, which is the closest at $7.25 per ton.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next request is for rock salt for the remainder of the 2021 budget year. There's only one vendor, it's Morton Salt. The price, I guess you're looking to open a PO.
Yes.
Under this PO for $50,000. This would come from account DV 5142.490, which has a balance of $95,000 as of October 1st. This would be on Saratoga County contract number 20-PWS-10R.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next request, I put it under highway. I received a written request. I think I got a phone call on it. I can't remember, I spoke with the family in relation to erecting a street light at the corner of Blanchard Road and Route 9. It's a brief letter, I'll read it to the record. It says, to the town of Monroe and Scott Prisoners. We live in the town of Monroe. We live on Blanchard Road right off Route 9. When it gets dark out, it's very difficult to spot Blanchard Road as there is no lighting source in the area. We are requesting a street light be placed on the corner of Route 9 and Blanchard Road. We are the first driveway on the right on Blanchard Road. Thank you, Gene Russell. So I think that doesn't a lighting district have to be created for them?
Yes.
And therefore,
Special district.
so who pays for the lighting?
They do. Just like.
So it'll be everybody in that development?
Yes.
So I guess the next question is, they need to find out whether that's something in the neighborhood, or do we,
And they would petition,
that petition?
just like the other special district.
All right. So, obviously the board, since they're paying, will be in support of it, if they follow the appropriate process. Right. Okay. I shall report back. I also have I have a request for speed limit reductions on Gansford Road. From Heather Fredericks at 617 Gansford Road. I said I'd bring it to the town board. I explained the process. She would like the limit reduced to 30 miles per hour. This is a state highway. Obviously, the state of New York have a direct say in that. But I said I'd bring it to the town board. We could still make the request, I believe. So that we have to have a resolution for the request. So anybody like to move that?
Is it a movement to create a resolution?
No, it would be to authorize the town clerk to, who does paperwork on that?
I do. So you,
Authorizing the town clerk to request a speed limit reduction in and around the area of 617 Gansford Road, State Route 32, from the current posting to 30 miles per hour.
So moved.
Seconded.
Discussion?
I'm curious for 617 as for starters.
I believe it is up north of Bluebird. I can't.
So
Which is
basically the Bluebird, like north up into the village. Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, the probability of that reduction is slim, but.
No, I know, we're looking at, and you know, it is relatively congested up through there, so.
It's north of Pine,
Yeah.
past Green Line.
Yeah.
Up by the church.
Which, you know, she did bring up a good point, you know, with the church there, and certain times it's really tough getting them out there. So, I said I'd bring it to the board. Any other discussion?
Yes, I'm sorry. Just for clarification purposes, because when I submit these, they want to know the exact points of where we're asking for the speed limit reduction. Can we say from Bluebird Road to the village line?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can we add that into the resolution? Is that okay?
Bluebird Road one to the village line.
Bluebird Williams, I guess, would be the exact.
Wasn't that the village line?
Yes. After.
I don't know, I just.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I had received some information from the highway superintendent in relation to the fleet card program. I believe the village utilizes this, and Paul's looking for authorization to utilize the fleet card program. There's no charge for it. I'll make
There's no charge for it. I haven't seen the bill yet from the village for when we did use
Oh,
it.
I got it, I got a lot.
I wanted to just check the price per gallon. It's supposed to be tax free, just like ours.
Yeah, so we were not charged tax. Here we go. This actually applies to, if it's labeled appropriately, more than one department, but I have a ticket for rec where they filled up with 239 gallons.
That's the tank in the back of the truck and the two trucks.
Why would they fill the whole tank up when ours is only down for a couple of days?
Well, at the time, they were saying 2 weeks for us to be down.
So we paid, I think it's 140, well, we didn't pay, we were charged $143.91 for 239 gallons.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
That's cheaper than we buy them, so.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So
That
we
would
give
be the
it,
case, we'd say, yes, let's do this.
so, I'm,
$3.29, $3.23. We did a total of $143 worth. So I don't know how many.
so there's several problems. Nobody reached out to me. I didn't authorize this. I didn't clear it with the board to use the village. When I heard there was a problem, my office asked that, work it out and get the solution back so that we could talk about it. And I get a bill, I get these things from the village clerk. I don't know much about what transpired. So as far as the highway is concerned, you can probably speak on that, Paul, right?
Well, at the time, we had no fuel on it. They were talking to me two weeks out for gas. So on the other hand, we usually supply the emergency squad, Sarasota County Water, and everybody around with gas. So they got their own setup someplace to get by for now, or for that period, and we ended up needing some, so the village offered us to use this one single card, and that's what we used.
So that single card.
So we could stay operating.
Right, that's a fleet card.
It's a fleet
Where
card.
do you fuel
has speedway or something.
Doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
So it just goes through this one financial licensure,
Right.
and it's fleet card. And you can gas up pretty much anywhere.
The only reason I wasn't for in case of emergency,
Yeah,
because they were told us our equipment's getting old and the parts are getting hard to find. So
is that what, is,
ended up being a computer board that they were lucky, they found one closer by than they thought.
okay,
So that's right. So here's the problem, and, this didn't go to the department heads, it went to the clerk's office, who forwarded it to my office with no context. And so, that's why I don't have detailed information. Councilmember Noonan is indicating that if you read the receipt that we were mailed, it is 44.43 gallons at $3.239 per gallon, so it's $143.91. That's for the records. Then on the side, I have truck number 2 for 25 gallons at $3.239 for $80.98. And I have a third receipt that I can't read.
They're bringing me down a copy of the bill tomorrow from the village.
So maybe you can provide detail
51 gallons.
so that we have it in the record.
51 gallons at 3.239 per gallon, which equals $165.19.
And that's for what truck?
So I don't think that they didn't get a copy of their bill yet. I think that's what they just sent a copy of the receipts back to us. Because the receipt comes out what the pump says, and then when the bill comes, it comes to us as taxes.
Right, it says no tax.
yeah,
So anyway, so I brought that up for discussion since Paul's here with us this evening. If the pump doesn't work, how's the fleet card work?
Excuse me?
So if our pump isn't working, how does the fleet card help?
You go to us,
The negotiated rates with,
that's all the village uses right now because they have no tax. So they got the predicament, they got that fleet card. And they have one that's set aside for the snow loader that hadn't been used at all. So they brought it down to us to get by with
so whose name would the fleet card be in?
something disposal.
No, I mean the town.
It'd be in the town we're on. It'd be just an emergency use card.
are you looking for like just one card, or are you looking for numerous cards?
Just one or two, it depends if we wanted. One would be fine.
Well, that's, in my mind, I'm thinking something like that. I mean, granted, we'd end up getting a bill on it, but it'd be nice to know, like, in this case, we're seeing that, okay, this one's for rec, this one's for.
Yeah, went down to each vehicle and I punched the card in for each vehicle.
Okay,
The rack, I went for the water department, I went for our trucks. I was the only one that held on to that card, so,
and this was because our pumps were down?
yes.
Okay. I
That fleet card,
I didn't
that fleet
know.
card you can use for gas or.
So is your request for the board to consider the fleet card as an option? And if it is, then I'd suggest you get the board all the information, because this is a structured program of services documentation, and the answers to the questions as to whose name it will be in and how we'll control it and how we'll authorize it, that can all be answered. So my suggestion is that we see the documentation on the program, if that's what you're asking.
But on the surface, not opposed to it.
I would just say this because the information that I have is an addendum to the fuel card service agreement. It requires whose name the card is going to be in and signature. I'm not putting my name, just to be clear. Now, as a department head, as part of the conversation, you want to do it, that's fine.
Would you feel comfortable with it in your name as department head?
Yeah, because I would have full control of it. And then we bill on each department as it comes in, just like we do now.
Gotcha.
I was gonna say help us.
but we can get copies out.
All right, so you're gonna get some more info on that?
I'll get more info on that.
All right. Okay, that's all I
We can
have.
have the town attorney look at it too.
What's that?
We can have the town attorney look at it too.
That's all I have for highway. Do you have anything else?
No, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, zoning board administrator. If the board recalls, we had reviewed the previous year's contract, which had a one-year extension in it, and the board authorized the supervisor to sign. And afterwards, I didn't sign it, there was a request for some fine tuning, some language in that proposal. If you recall, we referred it to the town attorney, she reviewed it, and has since encapsulated our discussions in the addendum to the contract. And I think board members have a copy of that. It's the first amendment to the agreement. And I don't know if anybody has any questions on it, but the first thing we would have to do is rescind resolution number 2021-261, where the supervisor is authorized to sign the contract unchanged for the previous year. So if somebody wants to do that.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. So now, what I would be looking for is authority from the board to sign the first amendment to the agreement with the town's zoning administrator. And if you recall, there was a request for additional 2 hours per week, which obviously impacted the overall terms of the contract from a totality standpoint. And so that would change his contract from the previous year's contract of $52,800 to a maximum not to exceed $68,690, which is set forth in Schedule A. And this would be for 1 year. August 1st, 2021 through July 31st, 2022. And also authorize the supervisor to execute the amendment. Any thoughts on that? So basically, this memorializes our previous conversations as a board.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the first amendment to the agreement and to execute the
First amendment.
The first amendment to the agreement. This agreement will run from August 1st, 2021 through July 31st, 2022.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 9 is the 2021 Saratoga County Trails Grant. If the board recalls, we had applied for a $10,000 Trails Grant in 2020, which we received, and we also did it for 2021. And so this evening, I would entertain a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the contract so we could receive our money for the 2021 Saratoga County Trails Grant.
So
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 10 on the agenda, recreation department. I do have a few items. First one is in relation to staffing from our rec leader. We've had some changes with current staff as far as availability for some, and for others, because they're seasonal laborers, they weren't necessarily available year round. So I don't think you need action on the first request for two individuals who have worked for the town and are currently on the list to be selected to work for the town. I think that if we already approved them, we can still call them back, so we don't have to take action on that. And they will be utilized for evening hours at the ice skating region on the sledding hill. The second request is to have William Noonan, no relation to the council member Noonan, Scott Merrill, and Bruce Holmes, is that how you said his last name? Holmes, to be recognized by the board as part-time, year-round employees, or as he phrased it, whatever the proper term is, instead of seasonal laborers. And the justification for this is that one employee is currently out of work due to medical reasons, that is at the rec. And we have another seasonal laborer who will be out of state for an extended period of time. And we have another current employee who has scaled back the number of hours to work during the winter. And it's the rec leader's intent to increase the park's evening hours once we are offering sledding and skating, and to have the park open on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings, as well as all winter holidays and school vacation periods. So I don't know what the board's pleasure is on this. Anybody spoken with rec?
Sure, yeah, and I would recommend them go forward with this move.
Okay.
I just want to make sure it's all good.
Okay. So I spoke with the principal account clerk, and he doesn't see any issues with it. We do know that we will have higher personal services because of the increase in the minimum wage starting in January. We've built that into our budget for next year. I think the personal services was around 194,000 for 2021 adopted budget. And I think next year will be up around 202,000. So, and approximately 45,000 of that is for the beach. So everyone's okay with that, then I guess the motion would be to classify William Noonan, Scott Merrill, and Bruce Holmes as part-time year-round employees rather than the seasonal laborers that they were hired as.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We have. I was made
to address hours at the rec. I mean,
Yeah, so, yeah, I got that in this one.
okay,
So I got two more items.
yeah, I didn't see it here in this.
Yeah, no, I just gotta get to that. So interestingly, we established our rec hours by years ago. We did, I mean, board way before our time. So whenever we change our, actually, we can't do it.
You can't, if it's local law, you have to unset it by local law. What?
Yeah, look in the code for the recreation, it has the hours that the park shall be open, and I think it closed at 4 p.m.
Doesn't just say done,
Does,
Don does.
that would be a lot easier. Was that?
That's what the sign used to say, dusted up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have the back.
This is a,
So we do it by, maybe we did it by resolution. I know it requires board action because, there's a vote on it.
town park hours shall be from 9 AM to dusk.
And is that by law supported?
Yes.
That makes it a little bit of a problem if you want to modify
Well, how are you modifying it?
it. So the request from the rec leader, currently our summer hours are 8 to 8. On Monday, October 11th, they're going to be updating the park signage and the website with fall hours of 8 AM to dusk. And at the board's direction, we did this in 2020, and winter hours will go 8 AM to 4 PM on November 1st. So we can't do any of that without local law.
I would recommend we rescind this local law. Or we modify it to say shall be set by resolution of the town board. But as of right now, it says shall be from 9 AM to dusk,
Okay, so how do we rescind it or?
local law.
Yes.
As a whole, good legal thing. you'll publish
So I
it.
think the board is probably in agreement, requesting council to draft an amendment to the local law that gives some flexibility.
And do you want to set a public hearing for that?
Yes, yes, we will set a public hearing for 6:35 on October 26th.
And just to clarify, the current law says town park hours shall be from 9 AM to dusk. You would like that modified to say town park hours shall be set
But
by resolution of the town board. So that is your law.
yeah,
Just wrote it.
That'll work.
Okay, so now I need to ask a question. Will that now become local law 3?
That would be, oh, because it's that,
It's
yes.
gonna be
it's the
beforehand.
fourth, yes.
Okay,
That'll
so
be
that'll be
3,
3.
that'll be 4, yes. But then once they're actually, then we'll change later.
Okay,
did I address your issue with hours?
Yes,
Okay.
but, you know. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So we need a resolution to establish.
Yes,
a public
so that-
hearing.
So that man can actually post it, put it in the paper.
So I'd like to move that.
So, make a resolution to have the public hearing to change the local law for the hours required.
Second, any discussion? All
Yes.
in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, so is that, I did have one other item under rec.
With the barn.
Yes.
Good.
So we had a budget of $35,000 in capital funds for our capital reserve, from our capital reserve funds for townwide recreation for the purpose of constructing a pole barn for equipment storage, to keep it under cover, keep it outside the reach of the public when nobody's around, after hours, etc. And during our budget discussions, the rec leader looked into the possibility of getting that, still get it constructed this year. And he has provided the board with a quote for a 24-foot by 40-foot pole barn kit from Curtis Lumber. I'm not gonna say what it is in the record because, we only have one quote at this time. And, one of the things that concerns me, because we just talked about labor, is who's gonna put it up?
Yeah, no, he's still trying to reach out to some local contractors to see if they can, and I thought he was going to try to get other quotes from other places that might offer something similar.
Okay, so, if we get that information, then we can take it up.
That would be great.
And just a reminder, as we discussed in the budget workshops, this is subject to a referendum. So once the board gets to the point where they want to move forward with it, we have to do a resolution, which starts the clock ticking, so that we may expend those funds.
Okay.
What's, how many days?
30.
30 days. So we're already, whatever we do, it's at least 30 days out before we can act.
Okay,
So, and I know we're getting down to
I'll
the.
try to get in touch with them around there.
Okay, great.
Just remind them, if I don't talk to them also, because I'm sure that's pretty accurate.
Yes, public works department.
That was just a kid.
No, I know, the labor needs to be, whoever talks to.
Yeah,
My question to you as an attorney in regards to this, if you can get somebody to supervise the work and our town employees do the work, is there, what would be the issue with that? He's looking for somebody that, he feels that he has enough hands that they can do most of the work, but they want the guidance to do it right.
So he would hire an outside contractor, clerk of the works to monitor the project.
Essentially. Yep.
You can do that,
Okay.
but, and then at that point, you don't have prevailing wage for your laborers, they would be your in-house laborers.
Yes. Okay.
But you have to get someone to, so go through your 3 quotes and find your, someone to do a clerk of works.
Okay. I'll tell them that. Thanks.
Sure.
all right, that's all I had for rec. Item 11 on the agenda is the employee health care plan. Each year the board has to, by resolution, decide what plan we're going to offer our employees for the following year, and we have to have it taken care of prior to November 30th each year. And we've talked informally, individually with Ford. I've updated on my meetings with Yeager and Flynn Insurance. And I can tell you what we're looking at for this year. Maybe. Looks like we're looking at an increase in costs from $339,462 for the HMO solar plant up to $370,273, which is just over a 9% increase. And that's to keep everything the same that we're currently offering our employees, and also on the MVP side, the increase, we only have a few, maybe one employee that take advantage of that. And that increase is going from $14,901 to $15,555, which is a 4.39% increase. So if you look at all the options out there, these are the least expensive and keeping everything the same that we currently offer. So I think the board members have all received a copy of the prospectus from Yeager and Flynn.
I did.
And what I'm hoping is that the board be willing to move on this, because we have, before we can start contract negotiations with CSEA, we're required to let them know what our insurance plan is going to be. And of course, the language is that has to be equal to or better than the language of the contract. So if the board is willing this evening, I'd entertain a motion to accept the following healthcare plans for town employees for the period beginning December 1st, 2021, ending December 30th, 2022. And they are the CDPHP, HCHMO qualified 324 plan and the MVP Silver 3 EPO HDHP. And the resolution would further resolve that Yeager Flint Associates have the authority to contact both CDPHP and MVP to procure these plans on the contract. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously, and that's great because we can plug that number now into our budget as we're going through the process. Item 12, water department. Board members should have a copy of the proposed water district-wide water ordinance. Special counsel has been working on for a number of months now. We're not going to act on it tonight. There's still some minor changes that need to occur. I have provided it at the direction of our special counsel to our department heads for input. I know the town clerk has provided her input. I'm not sure if I received any from anyone else, but if you have any recommendations, changes, etc., get them to my office. I'll get them to our special counsel so that we can get this in the lineup in the near future.
Thank you.
And the next item, we talked during our budget workshops about buying a 5x10 trailer for the water department for use for mowing and probably snow blowing.
Moving equipment from the city.
Yeah, moving equipment in our water department. And we have received 3 quotes for a 5x10 trailer. One is from Versatile Trailer Sales at $1,946. The other is from Lowe's at $1,799. And a third from Tractor Supply, Saratoga Springs for $1,999.99. This will be paid for from account 8310.2, which has a current balance of approximately $6,496. The recommendation from the former water superintendent, is to purchase from Versatile Sales. However, some of these trailers aren't identical. Some of them can carry more weight, some of them have bigger tires. Some of the one from Tractor Supply is 5.5 feet by 10. So one from Versatile can carry 2,270 pounds. The one from Tractor Supply has a GBW 3,500 pounds with a load of 2,076. And that's with 15-inch tires. Lowe's is 13-inch tires with 2,000-pound load capacity. And then Versatile has a 15-inch frame. So you get what you pay. So
I think that there was also a matter of availability.
yeah, I didn't have that out there, but I think that came up in our last one.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was, but we do have the money there.
So we go to request to what they would like, while the inventory is still available.
So that is very, yeah, which is more, just so you know, is more expensive than it's the middle quote of the 3.
The lesser being the one at Lowe's, which was the smaller of the 3 trailers.
Well, no, that's 5x10, but it's got 2,000 load capacity. And the one from Versatile is 2,207. So, did you move it?
No, we don't move it, we can move it. That was my suggestion, was we go with their, considering
Reimbursable trails.
the money's there. And I have a feeling it's heavy duty trail that what you got from that. Just for those. Yeah, so I'd like to make a motion, that authorizes the water department to buy a 5x10 trailer for versatile trailer sales. That costs $1,946.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And that's all I have for water. Next item is elected official salaries. We're required by law to set these before a given date, and we're well ahead of that, but since we've agreed to them in budget workshops, I thought we'd get this out of the way. And so the resolution would be that the town of Monroe set the salaries for elected officials for the 2022 budget year as follows. Supervisor would be $50,750, council members at $12,985, town justices at $30,036, town clerk at $48,488, and highway superintendent at $62,662. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
And that is a corresponding COLA, similar to what we have in the budget for all the police. So the motion passed unanimously.
Yes.
Jim?
No.
All right, supervisor items. Just want to update the board, as you know, we're under contract to sell the 61 Hudson. We had a contractor come in and disconnect the cooling unit, which is not for the entire town hall. It was just for the records management area. And that had to be done so that MC Environmental Services could get in there, drain the tank, and then remove the tank. So they will be, let's see, the tank was full, and so we're going to have to pay 99 cents a gallon to dispose of the fuel. And
Is that something that the,
I don't know.
you can use your WebEx card over there.
no, I'm thinking they might be able to use that.
I don't know how old that fuel oil is.
The water goes to the bottom, it's fine. So,
We don't know what is there.
That's a lot, I think.
somebody said it was a 1,000-gallon tank. I was shocked to learn. I don't think,
I was thinking it was a 500.
yeah.
It could be
So
1,000.
we'll know when we get it out, at least how many gallons we're in it.
And if it's fuel, it's gonna still be good.
Yeah. So they are to begin work. They'll be there tomorrow to drain it and begin removal on Monday. And that should make the real estate agent pretty happy, because they get all the big. I think that's all I have for, for supervisor items, committee reports.
I believe we're going to cover, I mean, minor all personnel issues, and I think they're going to cover that.
Yeah.
Right.
Same.
Nothing at this point.
All right, so we are going to need an executive session to discuss and receive an update from special counsel on contract negotiations with the city of Glens Falls in relation to sewer capacity. We will also discuss the work history of a prospective town employee. And, and to discuss a contract, a potential lawsuit in relation to town landfill and retained special counsel.
We were also planning to allow everyone to address on staff and water department. That's what we said in the budget workshop. We would bring it to executive session.
You find the history of current employees in the water.
Okay. All right, somebody like to move it?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries from executive session. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Don's on.
You took mechanics, look at that. Go over it.
I looked at it.
When they looked at it, they were using it today, so
That's. To make sure that we're not. Oh.
All right, we are coming out of executive session and at 9:32. And would ask that the record reflect that no action was taken in executive session. We do have one item, actionable item up for open session this evening, and it's in relation to the clerk for the building department. And I would entertain a motion to hire Katrina Flexon as clerk full-time for the building department at a salary of $38,500, effective immediately, subject to the successful completion of a background check and pre-employment physical within a 2-week period, and that such appointment shall be provisional for 12 calendar months. So,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Other business, does anybody have anything else for us? No. Privilege of the floor, any member of the public who wish to be heard?
And there's nobody online.
All right. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, wait a minute. We do have one other item, budget, the last budget workshop. We're gonna get a couple of loose ends. Time shouldn't take very long. I can do it October 20th at 7 p.m. I think it's a Wednesday, or October 21st at 5:30 p.m.
What was the time on the 20th?
7 p.m. I've got to be at the count.
I'm gonna say yes.
Either
The 20th.
I have an open house, so then you have it in there.
No,
When my open house is.
no, on the 25th.
Let's see what my open house is.
And you have to release it, huh?
It has to be adopted by November 20th. I mean, we could, well, no, we gotta have a public hearing, so. It's a 5-day notice.
The public hearing
It's a
side.
5-day notice.
But yeah, so that's why.
That's what it's on.
28th is open house, looks like. October 28th.
What day?
20.
Yeah, so good.
Yes.
So 7 p.m.
Yes.
The resolution for a budget workshop. Someone like to move that?
So,
Second.
And you have that at the end?
I do.
All right, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. And a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Second?
second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Unanimous. Thank you, everyone.
You.
Hold on, we're still on.
And call, okay,